Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. According to the Manchester Evening News, the announcement of Jadon Sancho's transfer to Manchester United has been delayed by a minor issue. Janet Age Fortoft said recently that an announcement is around the corner. Fabrizio Romano said the other day that the paperwork has been sorted between Manchester United and Borussia Dortmund for Sancho. Last week, Sancho completed his medical with Manchester United. A few weeks ago, Manchester United agreed a £73 million fee with Borussia Dortmund for Sancho. Sancho agreed a 5-year contract. There is an option of a further year. And I think Jadon Sancho is going to be wearing the number 7 shirt. Now, I want to delve into some news on Raphael Varane. So, according to Fabrizio Romano, Solskjaer wants the club to keep pushing to sign Varane. Romano mentioned that Solskjaer is an admirer of Varane. Fabrizio Romano said the other day that Raphael Varane confirmed to Man United that he's ready to accept our contract bid. Man United are in talks with Real Madrid over the Varane deal. Manchester United are hours away from completing the Raphael Varane transfer. Manchester United are willing to double Raphael Varane's wages in order to sign him this summer. Raphael Varane has definitely decided to leave Real Madrid, and he's told Real Madrid that he wants to join Manchester United this summer. I think we can get Varane for around £43 million. J. Felix Diaz said recently that Man United will have to offer more money for Varane or the deal will not happen. But Varane's departure from Real Madrid is imminent. Man United had been given permission to approach Varane over the personal terms. Varane has agreed the personal terms with Man United, and he's set to sign a 5-year contract with the club, which will keep him under contract with Man United until 2026. We received a massive boost in our pursuit of Varane, because it says Real Madrid's wages were forced to be slashed by 150 million. It said not so long ago that Varane's move to Man United could have been delayed, because it said Varane would have been happy to wait another year for a move to Man United. Not so long ago, Varane and his family were allegedly house hunting in Manchester. I think Varane is now back off his holiday. He recently returned to Real Madrid training. Real Madrid offered Varane a renewal contract offer, but he rejected it. Varane's current contract at Real Madrid expires next year. So it's looking very likely that Varane is going to be our second major signing of this summer transfer window. We went in for Varane 10 years ago under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We also went in for him in 2018 because Woodward was prepared to sanction a £100 million move. Varane is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He will exceed expectations in the Premier League. What a centre-back partnership that's going to be, Varane and Harry Maguire. They'll complement each other very well. Varane's endured like 10 years or so at Real Madrid, so he's been a long-serving player. He's made 360 appearances in all competitions and won a lot of trophies at Real Madrid, so reflecting on that, he's got a good pedigree as a player. Real Madrid got Raphael Varane from Lens back in 2011. There's been quite a few midfielders on our agenda. I recently give you the news on Leon Goretzka from Bayern Munich. Sport Bild said that Manchester United have submitted a contract offer to sign Leon Goretzka from Bayern Munich on a free transfer next summer. Eduardo Camavinga, he's another midfielder on our agenda. We're obviously linked with Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. Ruben Neves is now on our agenda. It said yesterday that Manchester United moved ahead of Arsenal in the race to sign Ruben Neves. Wolves are willing to sell Neves for £35 million. But Solskjaer has made it clear that he wants to make around 4 signings in this summer transfer window. And he identified the areas where he wants to strengthen up. Like I said, I'm expecting Man United to endure a very good summer transfer window. Because I am convinced that Solskjaer's going to get all the players he wants to recommend in. And it's about time Solskjaer got the backing he deserves, because he wasn't backed enough for such a long time. This summer transfer window is Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. Our board did make it clear that they'll back Solskjaer with summer signings and a new 3-year contract, and before the summer transfer window opened, it said Solskjaer had been given a £150 million transfer budget to buy around 4 or 5 new players. If we can get Varane on the board and then we can get another 1 or 2 signings after him, I'm convinced we can win the Premier League next season. That's Solskjaer's ambition for next season, is to win the Premier League. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013, which is 8 years ago now. And obviously next season is going to be massive for Solskjaer, and he is aware of that. But these really good players at Manchester United, like I've said to you before, I think Dean Henderson, he's a very, very good goalkeeper. I reckon he'll be staying at Man United. We put Dean Henderson as our number 1 towards the end of last season. He did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. Plus, Dean Henderson's got that experience behind him. He endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield. He's also had other loan spells before. Before the start of last season, Henderson signed a 6-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Said not so long ago that Solskjaer had chosen Dean Henderson to be our number 1 for next season. I still rate David De Gea, despite the mistakes he's made in the last couple of years. A few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. You know, he's won everything domestically at the football club. He's made over 500 appearances for us in all competitions, and he was our number one for such a long time. You know, could be our number one for next season. De Gea's been long serving at Man United. He's endured 10 years at the club, so he's been with us since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Now, it recently said that De Gea's cut short his holiday by 2 weeks to fight for a starting place. De Gea said he's determined to fight for his future. So yeah, could be staying at Man United for next season. Not so long ago, it said that De Gea could be loaned out next season by Man United to make room in the goalkeeping department. But it said that De Gea was set for talks with Solskjaer regarding his future after the Euros. If we did sell De Gea in this summer transfer window, or even in January or next summer, I reckon we'd get from between 40 to 50 million pounds. I really do. He's on 375 grand a week. That's a lot. Luke Shaw, he's a very, very good left back. Luke Shaw was our best player, you can say, last season. In fact, he was the best left back in the Premier League. Luke Shaw did very well for England during the tournament. Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. And Luke Shaw's been at Man United now over 7 years. I think he's had a good career with the club despite the injuries he's had. Harry Maguire, he can be decent centre-half when he wants to be. You know, he's had his good games at Man United. He's also had his bad games. Harry Maguire was a big miss for us towards the end of last season because he had ligament damage in his ankle. Got to give him credit though, Maguire did well for England during the tournament. We overpaid for Harry Maguire. We got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester. Most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment, and second most expensive signing at the club, just behind Pogba. Eric Bailly, he's a decent centre-half, but my element of concern about him is injury-prone, so in that aspect he's a liability. Towards the end of last season, Eric Bailly signed a new contract with Man United till 2024. There's an option of a further year. Probably made a mistake giving him that new contract. Bailly's been with us now over 5 years. We paid £30 million in from Villarreal back in 2016. Axel Tuanzebe is a decent centre-half as well, but he just doesn't play enough for Man United. We have agreed to let him go, which is the right decision. You know, he goes elsewhere, he's going to gain more experience, and plus he's going to get the opportunities he's demanding. The best game I recall Axel Tuanzebe having was PSG. And Wan-Bissaka, he's also very, very good as well. He's one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. Defensively, he's always been superb, but Wan-Bissaka's got to show more attacking intent. That's what he's lacking at the moment, that attacking intent. I think he's got a long-term future at Man United. Bissaka's endured 2 full seasons at the club, so next season will be his 3rd full season. We got him for £50 million from Palace back in the summer of 2019. Scott McTominay is a decent player, but he's not yet on that level where I want him to be at. The question is, can he emulate to that level? Certainly needs more time at the club. He's been part of the club for a long time as it stands. Just after the first lockdown last year, he signed a 5-year contract with Man United. Wait there a second. Paul Pogba, he's also good as well. You know, he's really improved. I hope Paul Pogba stays at Manchester United. He could still leave. Don't forget, Paul Pogba has been discussing personal terms with PSG. PSG have not yet made formal contact with Man United over Pogba. Tuto Mercato Web did say that Man United is set to receive a €60 million bid from PSG for Paul Pogba, but it did say that Pogba is close to reaching an agreement to join PSG. You know, PSG want to partner Pogba alongside Jadon in their midfield. Foot Mercato said the other week that Paul Pogba wants to join PSG this summer, and it says Man United could have demanded 4 players as part of a Pogba swap deal with PSG. And Julian Lawn said a few weeks ago that PSG are considering making a move, and Fabrizio Romano said that PSG are interested in signing Paul Pogba, and PSG made contact with Paul Pogba's representatives. Mino Raiola has obviously held talks with PSG's president. But Pogba's had a long-running transfer saga, hasn't he? You know, he's been linked with Barcelona also. It recently says Barcelona are working tirelessly on a Paul Pogba swap deal. It says they're willing to offer Griezmann or Samuel Umtiti as part of the deal for Pogba. Real Madrid have been linked with him. His former club Juventus have been in for him. And Inter Milan have been in for him before. It recently said that Paul Pogba decides to run his contract down, and then he'll make a decision on his future next summer. A new contract for Paul Pogba at Manchester United could see him stay at the club for the rest of his career. Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next year. You know, last season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract, but Ollie said that he's hopeful Paul Pogba will stay and sign a new contract. Sky Sports News mentioned at one point that Man United were in ongoing talks with Pogba's representatives over a new contract. He said, "We wanted to make Pogba the Premier League's highest paid player with a new 5-year contract worth £104 million. Because he said we fear losing Pogba on a free transfer. Pogba produced his best performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while. To Pogba's credit as well, I thought he enjoyed a good tournament for France. He represents his country well. Pogba's our most expensive signing at the moment, paid £89 million for him. We overpaid for him, and he's enjoyed, 5 seasons at Man United since it rejoined him. Mino Raiola has obviously been desperate to get Pogba out of the football club. He did a lot of talking last season. I've got to say, Bruno Fernandes, he's a very good player. He's one of our best players, and he's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Bruno Fernandes did win Player of the Year. He's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. In most of Bruno Fernandes' games at Man United, he's been very consistent, but there's also been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. We have overplayed him. Fernandes has been at the club now over a year and a half. Fabrizio Romano did mention not so long ago that Man United are looking at a new contract for Bruno Fernandes. Said towards the end of last season we was willing to double Bruno Fernandes' wages to £200,000 a week. Fernandes' contract with Man United expires in 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. We got Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. He predominantly plays as a number 10. Mason Greenwood, he's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad, despite going a long period without scoring. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time. And last season, Greenwood signed a new 4-year contract with the club. You can play Greenwood on the right hand side, you can also play him centrally. Edison Cavani, he's also made a fantastic impact since he's come in. I'm very delighted that he's staying for next season, because Fabrizio Romano said towards the end of last season that Cavani agreed a 1-year contract. Marcus Rashford, he's good when he wants to be, but there's aspects of his game that I've got to improve. Marcus Rashford has endured his bad periods, and he has become injury prone. Rashford is going to miss the first 2 months of the season because he's got shoulder injury. He decided to undergo surgery on his shoulder. We need to keep Rashford out on that left hand side because that's where he seems to be more effective. During the tournament for England, Marcus Rashford was a bench warmer. Don't agree with him getting racially abused. So there you go. There's some players at Man United that are good though, really. Lindelof isn't that good. I've got my strong reservations about him. Fred, he isn't that good either. I've got my concerns about him. We overpaid for Fred. We got him in a deal worth 52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. Matic, he's not all that good. I've got my strong reservations about him. Matic has always been a static player and he's aging up. But it looks like he's going to be staying at Man United for next season. We overpaid for Matic, got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea. Martial, he's another player that's not good enough to represent the club. But reports said not so long ago that Martial is going to be staying at Manchester United. Daniel James, I actually do have my concerns about him as well, even though he has enjoyed some good games at Manchester United. Obviously, I've got my concerns about De Gea as well, because like I said earlier on, he's made mistakes in the last couple of years. So, there you go. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.